the guardians of the first fire. In the year 2045, deep beneath the melting glaciers of Greenland, explorers uncovered something impossible, a perfectly preserved flame burning within a crystal chamber. When scientists tried to extinguish it, the fire only glowed brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. One of them, a linguist named Layla, deciphered the carvings around it. The words were older than any language known to man. "We are the keepers of the first fire. When the world forgets its light, we will rise again." That night, Layla began to dream of cities made of gold dust, of skies filled with symbols, and of 4 souls walking together through time. Layla traced the symbols to an ancient temple buried beneath Cairo's sands. There she met Nadir, a calligrapher who could write prayers in air using glowing ink. When he saw Layla's pendant, the flame symbol from her dreams, he whispered, "You've carried this mark before. So have I." Together they discovered a mural depicting 4 figures. The scholar, who remembers the words of creation. The artist, who paints the unseen. The healer, who mends both flesh and spirit. The guardian, who protects the first fire. Nadir and Layla realized they were 2 of them, reborn. Thousands of miles away, Iara, a healer deep in the Amazon, began seeing visions of a burning glacier and a woman calling her name in dreams. When she touched river water, it shimmered gold. The elders told her, "You are awakening." She followed her visions upriver until she found an ancient stone tablet showing the same spiral flame symbol. The wind whispered, "Go east." Across the steppes, a young monk warrior named Togrin began having memories that were not his own. Battles fought in ancient cities, oaths sworn under twin moons. When he meditated, he saw the same 3 faces, Layla, Nadir, and Iara. He set out on horseback, following the stars until they converged over the Himalayas, a place known in legends as the Mouth of Dawn, where heaven and earth meet. Under the aurora's shimmering light, the 4 met, none surprised, as if their souls had simply found one another again. When they placed their hands together, the same ancient fire rose between them, forming a living map of the world. Each flame on the map marked a place where humanity's light was dimming, forests burning, oceans poisoned, hearts divided. The voice of the first fire spoke through the wind. "You are not here to save the world. You are here to remind it to remember." They traveled together, leaving traces of awakening wherever they went. In Kenya, they turned a war-torn village into a sanctuary of art and healing. In Japan, they revived an ancient song that calmed storms. In Peru, they lit a fire atop Machu Picchu that burned without smoke, a signal to all who still believed. Wherever they went, people felt something stir inside them. Memories of kindness, awe, and courage they thought they'd lost. When their journey ended, the first fire whispered one final truth. You were never chosen. You chose long ago. Every soul who dares to love the world fiercely becomes a guardian. The flame sank back into the earth, not to vanish, but to sleep. Because now, its light burned in billions of hearts. And if you look closely on cold nights, you might see a faint golden shimmer at the edge of the horizon. The first fire still watching, still waiting for the world to remember its light. Astronomers in Chile noticed that one of the oldest constellations, Orion, had dimmed. Then a strange silence spread through the skies. Radios went mute. Migrating birds lost their way. Even the tides seemed unsure of themselves. In observatories, temples, and mountain monasteries, people whispered the same phrase. The stars are forgetting who they are. And far beneath the ground, where the first fire once slept, the earth shuddered, as if something ancient was trying to wake again. Layla, now old and silver-haired, lived in a desert monastery surrounded by books and wind. She dreamed one night of the sky going dark, and a voice saying, "The memory of the stars lies in the hearts of humankind. When they cease to look up in wonder, the heavens fade." When she awoke, she found the spiral mark glowing faintly on her palm once more. She knew what it meant. The guardians were being called again. Across the world, the other guardians stirred. Nadir, the calligrapher, now blind, could still trace light in the air with his hands, words that shimmered like constellations. Yara, the healer, felt her rivers begin to whisper again, voices of spirit saying, "The stars are your kin. Togrin, the monk warrior, felt his heartbeat synchronize with a rhythm that came from the heavens themselves. Each traveled by intuition, guided not by maps, but by memory, back to the place where they had once stood together beneath the aurora, the mouth of dawn. When they arrived, something new awaited them. A fifth figure cloaked in shadow, holding a crystal sphere pulsing with dim light. Her name was Mira, a child born under a comet's passing. She had never known the Guardians, yet she spoke their ancient language fluently. "The stars have lost their stories," she said. "And without stories, even light cannot find its way." Inside her sphere glowed fragments of dying constellations, pieces of memory trapped between worlds. The Guardians understood then. Their task was no longer of Earth. They had to ascend, not in body, but in spirit, to rekindle the names of the stars. Through meditation and the harmony of all five, they opened a bridge of pure sound and light, rising from the Himalayas into the sky like a ladder woven from prayer. Each step they climbed, they heard voices, the songs of ancient galaxies, the laughter of suns long dead. When they reached the edge of the cosmos, they found the truth. The stars were alive, vast, radiant beings once connected through song. But humanity's noise, fear, and forgetting had silenced them. Each star, once named and remembered by ancient civilizations, Layla knelt before them and whispered, "We remember you." Nadir drew their symbols in light. Yara breathed the rhythm of rivers into the void. Togrin struck his staff, echoing the heartbeat of worlds. And Mira, the child, began to sing. Her voice carried the music of every language, every ocean, every dawn. The constellations flared one by one, Orion, Lyra, Pegasus, their names rekindled, their light reborn. As the Guardians descended back to Earth, the night sky blazed brighter than it ever had before. People across the world stopped what they were doing, stepping outside, looking up, feeling something they hadn't in generations, awe. The auroras danced even over deserts. Whales sang in harmony with the wind. Children began naming new stars, and the stars, as if grateful, twinkled in reply. Mira vanished the next morning, leaving only her crystal sphere behind. Within it burned a single phrase in a language no one could translate. Except Layla. "The stars will fade again, unless you keep telling their stories." The Guardians dispersed once more, knowing their time was nearing its end. And somewhere, in a quiet sky that glowed like a living tapestry, the stars whispered their names once more. Since the night the stars sang again, civilizations rose and fell. People built towers that touched the clouds, and machines that reached Mars. Yet slowly, humanity forgot the old harmony once more. The stars still shone, but faintly. Rivers ran quietly. Forests whispered less, and even dreams began to fade from color into gray. The universe itself seemed to sigh. And in that silence, the Earth called her Guardians home for the last time. Layla was reborn as a child in Morocco, with eyes that reflected galaxies. She spoke before she could walk, whispering old star names to the desert winds. Nadir returned in Istanbul, painting with light that only appeared at midnight. Yara was born again by the Amazon, her tears healing wilted trees. Togrin, the warrior monk, came back in Mongolia, not as a fighter, but as a shepherd who spoke to storms. They had no memory of who they once were, only fragments, dreams of fire, bridges of light, and a voice calling from beyond the stars, "The last light is within you." In a forgotten village by the Arctic Sea, a girl named Mira Solis was born during a solar storm. Auroras danced the night she arrived, and every compass spun wildly, as though the Earth itself had lost its direction. At age 12, she drew a spiral flame on her wall, the same mark from the first fire. When her parents asked how she knew that symbol, she said simply, "Because it's how the universe breathes." That night, the four reincarnated Guardians dreamt of her and began their journeys once more, drawn north by invisible light. As they traveled toward the Arctic, strange miracles began to happen. In the Sahara, long-dead seeds sprouted overnight. In the Andes, snow melted into glowing rivers. In the Pacific, whales sang songs that matched old constellations. It was as if the Earth itself was preparing to speak. When the four reached the northern edge of the world, they found Mira waiting, standing on the frozen sea beneath the swirling aurora. The air shimmered like glass. She smiled at them and said, "The Creator's flame is fading. It is time to pass the light on." The ice cracked open beneath them, revealing a vast crystal city beneath the sea, a place that mirrored the stars above. In its center burned the last light of creation, a sphere of living radiance, dim but still pulsing with life. Layla whispered, "So this is the heart of everything." Mira nodded. "But it is tired. It needs new dreamers." The Guardians understood. They were not meant to reignite the old light. They were meant to become its next keepers, to teach humanity how to create new stars from their own hearts. One by one, they stepped into the light. Each Guardian's essence transformed. Layla became memory, the keeper of all human stories. Yara became healing, the pulse of life in all water. Toghren became courage, the spark that defies despair. And Mira, she became the first dawn, the new sun that would rise after the long night. When they merged into the light, the earth trembled, not with fear, but with awakening. 1,000 beams of light burst from the Arctic sky, each touching a sleeping human across the globe. Children awoke glowing softly. Artists painted with color no eye had seen before. Scientists began dreaming equations that sang like symphonies. Kindness became contagious. Hope turned visible. The last light had not vanished. It had multiplied. Every soul that chose wonder over apathy, compassion over cruelty, became a small creator.